So for this demonstration we're just going to look at building an asset, a game asset. So I'm just starting with a new scene. I'm going to set myself a new project up. And then, because I like to work in meters, I'm going to just change the settings to meters. Now it's always worth, once you set a scene up for meters, just to do a little bit of housekeeping. So I'm just going to press Shift F. I'll just frame everything up. It also frames up all the other views, tops, front and side. But one of the things that you'll notice is that the camera is only one unit now above the plane. So we're just going to change the unit in the translate option for Y. Just put 100 in there. And then we're going to change the clipping plane as well. So we just change the clipping plane up. Now we're going to do that for all the other views. Now we've got all the views in. I always like to save the scene, so we're just going to save the scene as a setup scene. Then if we build anything else, we can always just change the name of that setup scene and we're ready to go. So next thing we need is some image planes. So I've got an image of an axe we've just pulled off the net, and this axe is going to be in the front view. I'm going to use the top view as well. So I'm just going to put it into the front view. And remember, because we've brought this in to centimetre scale, we need to scale it up now, so it'll have inherited those scaling options. So I'm just going to scale these up. I'm going to use 3 and 6.4 so that we retain the aspect ratios. So I'm just going to put in 3 and 6.4. And we're going to use that as well for the top view. Just going to move this up, just get it centered up. Always better if you've got your object positioned where you want it to be, so slightly off the center line. And I'm just going to turn down the alpha gain. This just gives me a chance to look through it, different angles. Okay, so we'll bring in the top view. You can see that's at the top of the axe. And again, we're just going to scale those up nice and quick. And then just going to eyeball this up so that we sort of have the axe over the dead center line, as near as we can. Just going to zoom straight in. So when you have the bar selected for the transition tool, you can use the middle mouse to sort of nudge and line things up. That looks about right. And again, I've set the opacity down on that as well. So good time to save. Just give this a save. Oh, first we'll set up a layer. So the first layer, this is going to be an image reference layer. Just rename that. And this just allows us to set it as a reference layer, and we can change the visibility when we don't want to be seeing this. Okay, let's save this. This is reference ready, so we'll just save this as setup version 2. Okay, and what we're also going to do is we're just going to very quickly save a new version of this scene. This will be our build. Now this is the one that I'm going to use to have an incremental save on it. So I'm going to call this the blockout, and I'm going to give it a version number of 1, but when we start using incremental saves, it'll be 1.001, 002, 003. Okay, so I'm ready to start putting in my basic shapes. I'm going to start with a polygon cylinder. Just going to change the radius down. So these early stages, it's always good. I want to use 6 divisions on this because I need to make some sharp edges, and I kind of like the look of the way that cylinder's been broken up. I'm just going to change subdivisions, the height of it, and just get that eyeballed into shape. So I'm going to use the front view for this. And I'm going to turn on X-ray as well because it's useful to be able to see through your geometry. I like to work in a shaded mode as much as I possibly can. So just turn the wireframe shaders on. So these buttons at the top are the ones that we can just change all the different viewport settings and the shading settings. Okay, so I've set that to X-ray on selected. I need to change it to the next one. That's it. Okay, so now I can see. Just need to just adjust these now, so you can see what's underneath it. And just nudge that height down a little bit, and then we can go into component mode, and we can start selecting the vertexes, sort of eyeballing these up to some of the contour lines that are on this axe. Where we don't have enough edge loop in, I'm going to put a new edge loop in there. So I'm just going to select the object and then bring in the edge loop. I always like to work with the flyout menus. There we go. Just pop in a few more edge loops. I think we'll have enough to get down to the bottom. So just shape these at the top. Again, component mode, using the scale tool, and scaling up as well. I'm not going for super hot detail because we're going to use texture mapping to grab some of the best details out of this. So I'll just eyeball these up. We're good. So for the top of the axe, I'm just going to use some extrusions. So I'm just going to extrude out the polygon faces just using the component selection tool. Just create one extrusion. Just going to extrude the edges up. I'm just going to use the global extrusion there. The blue button at the side. Eyeball that into place. Again, change the views so I can see where that's going. Let's get that somewhere near. And then another extrusion just to change the thickness. And then for the top, because it's slightly rounded at the top, I'm just going to pull out that center vertex. Just put it up a little bit just to give it rounded edges. Okay, I'm going to select the edges now, the faces that I want to pull out. So these are going to come straight out. See, we're just going to pull this straight forward. I can see I need to just adjust the vertex line a little bit as well. So I'm just going to sort that vertex line out. Just bring up a new edge loop, and now I'm going to extrude those out. There we go. I'm just going to extrude those. Just pull them straight out. Now I've actually pulled them up against the normal, so I'm going to have to do a bit of scaling to bring them back. This is why we've got a top view. So I'm just going to bring them in. Just make those cuts. Okay, and you can see that I need to make an adjustment there. Just going to select those edges, pull them in. I'm just going to have a look over the top. Just eyeball those up. I'm just using the scale tool. That gives us sort of an idea of kind of what the axe is going to look like. Okay, so I'm just going to make a few amendments on here, just smooth out some of these edges.